moving on, we'll now hear about the session 2, the keys to innovation in the management of volatile organic compounds and others. We are honored to have here Carlos Nietzsche Díaz, is the director of Ambiente Todora in Bilbao, Spain, a company focused on environmental consultancy with a special focus on odor management. He has over 20 years of experience in odor management. He holds a BS degree in chemistry from the University of Seville in Spain. He has been responsible for projects related to odors management in many countries around the world. He is the main editor of the olores.org website and has been a keynote speaker at several international conferences. Carlos served as the president of the International Environmental Society of Odor Managers, and he is a member of several communities dealing with odor management in International Water Association, World Economic Forum, Amigo, UNE, and CIEN. He is with us to talk about technological solutions in the treatment of odors.
So thank you very much, Gloria, and the whole team for this introduction and for inviting me to this talk. That is going to be fast. I promise it's going to be fast. And I put the clock so that I don't go longer than my time. All right, so today I'm talking about odor control, and because I have just 15 minutes, and odor control is just a really large science. I'll go just through some pictures and try to describe you a little bit about which is the stage of the odor control of the state of the science. All right, so who are we? We are Ambiente Todora. We are based here in the north of Spain. Ambiente Todora means, not many people know that it means everything related to odors in Latin language, and we are based in Bilbao. But we do projects worldwide. And this is the team. Last Thursday, we had we went for a trail, and we had a fantastic time there. If you want to know a little bit about odor control, there is a directory in this website, olores.org. This is one of our websites, and there you will see all physical, chemical, biological odor control abatement methods. And there, if you need something, it will be there. All right, so this is the typical approach. I've done this talk a few times, but I think this is the best way to approach odor control methods. And so you have the liquid phase and the gas phase treatment. And in the liquid phase, you can go through a chemical, biological, and a physical treatment. So if you go to a chemical treatment, this is mainly used for wastewater. So you have air and oxygen injection. You can inject air in a water. This air has two effects. First, oxidize some sulfur compounds, and the second effect is that it gives oxygen to the bacteria around, so that instead of consuming sulfate, they will consume oxygen. So it's a good abatement method. And then oxygen, you can also use oxygen. It's 5 times more soluble than air, so it's another option. Then you have chemical oxidations. For example, using chlorine compounds, you oxidize those volatile organic compounds, or hydrogen peroxide, potassium permanganate, ozone, which is typical. You see here the ozone. I try to include the sources when I get the pictures. And nitrates, this one I didn't include the source. Iron salts, this is from Webster. Most of them are good friends. I know most of them. And the pH adjustment. Depending on the pH in a liquid, you may have a higher or lower emission of hydrogen sulfide, which is one of the typical indicators, not the only one. Then in liquid phase treatments, you have the biological treatment, and there are 2 approaches. There are 3. The first one is the recirculation of activated sludge. So you are in a wastewater treatment plant, and then you can recirculate the activated sludge and put it in the at the head of the system, at the beginning of the system, and because there are nitrified effluents. Remember, we use nitrates there. Those ones will help to improve your odour emission in your plant, in your wastewater treatment plant, in case you have it. And another approach is the oxidized ammonium recirculation, in which you get oxidized ammonium from, for example, from a centrate nitrification, or from here, from the nitrification part, and then you introduce it in the inlet. So this is a very cheap way to reduce your odor emission if you have a wastewater treatment plant with problems of odor complaints. And it's not here, but sometimes some people use enzymes for biological treatment. I didn't include it here because publications I have found around, they are not that that positive. And then you have a physical treatment for water, remember, and you have this technology, which is a vertical sewer drop. It's a vortex flow, so you use it in a drop, when you have a drop, and the water goes like this, so you get aerated the water, and you decrease the turbulence which emits auras there. You can use stripping, which is a typical way of dealing for. This is done when you have high concentrations of volatile organic compounds in your water, and you can strip it. This is another way to do it. And then for gas phase treatment, in a chemical treatment, you have the typical scrubbers, gas scrubbers. This is a series of 4 scrubbers. And a scrubber is just a shower with liquid that can be water, or it can be other compounds, oxidizing compounds, or different types of compounds to wash, to scrub the volatile organic compounds from the airstream. So you get the air is coming through here. You wash this air, and then the air goes out cleaner. Then for biological treatment, we have heard some technology here before, so I will not go longer here. So we have the biofilters, open and closed. But we normally prefer closed. Biotrickling filters, it has been explained before, and bioscrubbers, which are other technologies. And these biological treatments, they look the same, but they are for, you see here, for pump stations or underground places where you have wastewater collectors, and you need small technologies, and they could be biotechnologies as well. So you have here this one from BioRem. This is a pumping station in Canada, and there was no odor after that. A biotrickling filter, and this one is also here. You see this. This is the top of a wastewater collector, and then you put here, and they sell this. And for physical treatment, the typical ones are the dry absorption systems, and here you have different types of dry absorption systems. This one, for example, is for biomethane. It's made of, these are the typical activated carbon. This is activated carbon impregnated with permanganate potassium, and this is I think zeolite, and another one, I don't remember. And this is iron salts. They are made for biogas systems. So here you have one typical dry absorption system with activated carbon. Another physical treatment is the thermal oxidation, and we have heard about that before. So you have direct oxidation, which is just your flame directly oxidize the volatile organic compounds, which at temperature over 700 degrees, they get oxidized to CO2 and water. Then you have the recuperative. This is a recuperative in which there is heat exchange that you can get this heat and you can produce water steam if you want. Then you have the regenerative, which is this one, in which you use the heat from one chamber to heat up the other chamber, and for that you use a filling with ceramic tiles. And then you have the catalytic, in which you use a catalyzer to oxidize those volatile organic compounds, but at lower temperatures. This is the good thing of the catalytic oxidizers. You spend less money in using these ones, but they are more expensive than the other two. And flares. And I will speak a little bit about rotoconcentrators. There have been some talks about this, but I had to talk because I'm talking about odour control. And the rotoconcentrators are much used for when you have industries with a high concentration of volatile organic compounds like paint or refineries or things like this, which you have a very high concentration of volatile organic compounds, and it's just a disk in which the VOCs gets absorbed with the zeolite, and this disk is spinning, and when they get absorbed, they get to this section in which they are heat up with a heater, and those compounds are dissolved. Once those are dissolved, the zeolite is clean again, and then it goes to a cooling phase, which it gets cooled, and again it starts the system again. So I included this from this one of the partners of this this picture from one of the partners of this consortium. Then you have ozone that you can use. You could use in the water phase, but you can also use ozone in the gas phase, which is typical. Cold plasma technologies. I didn't have the time to put a picture here, but it's very much used. With cold plasma, it's just the electricity that goes through here, and this electricity ionize the gases and oxidize them. And photocatalytic oxidation, which is this one, in which you use ultraviolet and sometimes a catalyzer like titanium dioxide, and you are able to, with very low energy consumption, so they work very well. You get your good abatement efficiency rate. And this is another one. This is in Colombia. We were there a couple of months ago. All right, so which method should we use? So this is this typical graph in which we normally say, listen, this is from sorry, I forgot to put the reference. I'll include it for the next time, or ask me if you want to know the reference. It's very old publication. But anyway, we didn't like this because it didn't talk about aura. So we went and we did our own table. You see here biofiltering, biotrickling with minimum and maximum flows, concentration minimum and maximum, efficiencies minimum and maximum. And from where did we get those data? We got those data from Vito. It's not here the reference. From Vito, I see Ilse is around. We got different data related to flow and concentration and efficiency rates. And we produced this graph, which is different than the other one. The other one looks nicer, but for us, it is like using those data from Vito. For us, it's more related to odour. So, and these are some technologies, not all of them that I mentioned before. And here you have the efficiency rates, maximum efficiency rates. Oh. The Vito logo was here. Anyway, there is other types of technologies to abate odor. First one is elevated chimneys, for example, and you disperse the odor. And this one, this is a tall chimney, and this is a way to increase your plume. Then you can use covers, and there are different covers, rigid, floating, different types of covers. For solids, there are different ways of covering as well. You have this for trucks, lorries, this for composting plants, this one's for landfills. And then you have masking agents, neutralizers, odor encapsulators, and etc. They explain very well how they work. They generally have lower Kpix, but they will not give numbers on odor abatement efficiency. But they just say that they work. So do they work? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Who knows? But there are other strategies like using meteorological data to control your odor emission, using diagnostic odor dissipation models, prognostic odor dissipation models, use of instrumental odor monitoring systems, and many other. For example, using an odor management plan. But the best odor control strategy for any plant is working on process. If you want to know more, in Europe there are around 30 best reference documents related to different types of industries. And for example, in the farming or in the chemical industry or in waste, you have the word odor mentioned a few times with some mentions to odor abatement methods. And thank you very much for your attention. If you have any doubt, I'll be waiting for your questions at the end of the session. Thank you very much.
With the support of the European Union's LIFE program,